Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of The Heel Turn. I am Big Rock TV, back again with the homie Don Josh. And we got a few things to talk about here on this episode. Wasn't very much going on as far as main roster WWE. It was kind of a lackluster week.
No, it was awful. It was an awful week. I'm saying if it came down to it, if they got rid of Raw and SmackDown, that's probably just today leading up into Crown Jewel and everything like that. But if they got rid of those today, I don't think we'd be too heartbroken.
Not really.
I don't think we'd be missing it too much.
Not really.
Because you got a great crop of wrestling going on Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then outside of that, it's starting to feel like, I feel like Wednesday night was meant to be the filler in between Monday and Friday.
Yep.
But it's really feeling like anything you want to really get into, to really invest in, is going to be called on Wednesday. And then you just got to wait a whole week, and you got your filler are the main roster shows right now.
That's exactly what it is. Wednesday night wrestling is fire.
It's
on both sides.
Oh yeah, man! It's all elite, is what it is.
Yeah, and you spend the big money. You got the big contract to go to Fox for SmackDown, and then you throw out this show that it's not even. It's like it just happened, and I can barely remember a lot of what just happened.
Yeah, so I don't know. So I know for what I've heard and everything like that, like they're like, the deal with Fox is like they're supposed to be getting roughly like 3 million views a week is what is like kind of the deal. They can back out of it at any time is some of the like contract that I understand is coming from it, but SmackDown is really only pulling in about a million views or a million people watching on Fridays. And it comes right down to, like, they have a bunch of exciting superstars. They got Roman Reigns, they got Daniel Bryan, they got the new heel turn with Bayley going, they have Sasha Banks, they have some big stars on there. They got The Fiend and Brock Lesnar on there, and they can't seem to draw more views. And it comes right down to just the terrible show they're putting out.
It's because they're focusing on this Crown Jewel stuff right now, and then your focus is wrong.
Your focus is on the money, and I'm never going to say your focus, when you're not focusing on the money, you're wrong. I don't think, like, especially in a business sense, you and me can't ever come down and be like, well, they're making the money, but they're in the wrong doing it.
Yeah.
So, but as a product, as like an overall product for fans like you and me who've been watching for years, it's becoming more of a chore.
Yeah.
It's become more of a chore to watch, is essentially what it is.
Or we're watching it because we feel like we have to, ultimately.
Exactly. Like, what would I do on Monday if I wasn't watching Raw?
Yeah.
What would I do on Fridays, or it used to be Tuesday, Friday again, if I wasn't watching SmackDown? Like, am I supposed to go to school? Better my life or something? Why? But they're making it really hard for me to tune in every week, making me want to go back to school. That's how bad these shows are. They make me want to go do some homework
and get an education.
Yeah, exactly.
This is how bad this is now.
Thanks, Vince. You really helped better my life. You did this. I got a master's now because your product was just so terrible, and Cody got me through the week.
I'm gonna study and get a degree and get a promotion and all this stuff now because your product is terrible. Where I wanted to start this week with unfortunate news for me.
For you.
For me.
Literally, you are taking it the hardest out of everybody in the world. You are taking this harder probably than Kofi and Big E are.
Oh, man. Xavier Woods. Torn Achilles. And is going to be...
You just stretched it out.
going to be out for the better part of a year. From the last I read is that he's going to be out for a year. He had the surgery, I want to say it was Wednesday. And he's posted videos already. He's setting up the crutch that he can kind of move on. He's got his legs bent, so he's going to be at home for a very long time.
Yeah.
I guess it was a show that they did in Australia where the injury occurred.
Yep, Sydney, Australia.
Yeah, and luckily, I mean, I haven't seen footage of it. That stuff makes me nervous because I've messed my knees up a few times. So
okay.
I don't like seeing leg injuries.
Sure, you don't want to see one of those Sid Vicious.
No, my God. Oh, man.
The Sid Vicious snap.
That's the worst one. That's the worst one ever. Oh, you made me think about it. That's the worst one. Oh, he just came off the rope and it just dangled and it was... man.
I don't think that boy Xavier, he didn't have it that bad. No. He's got that. Yeah, he's got that. It's the same injury, like you said, that Kevin Durant got last year. So, and he's projected to be out the entire NBA season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can see Xavier being sidelined for the better part. Definitely the rest of this year.
Yep.
Probably for the better part. We might not see him back till SummerSlam next year.
Yep. And that's if he is one of those kind of faster healers. Sometimes they give that projection as you're going to be out for the better part of a year, but some people make it back 6 to 9 months.
Sure, some people got that John Cena gene, that Wolverine in them, that just regenerate on their own. So I'm hoping for his sake that's going to be what it comes down to. But what are you looking for, or I guess, what is your outlook now and towards the future for the New Day as a whole?
So, after watching SmackDown last week, we didn't catch this initially, but I think we spoke about it afterwards, after we did the last show. Kofi Kingston had a moment backstage. They were all three back there, and they had that match with the with Heavy Machinery. And when Heavy Machinery came backstage, and they were talking about cheering them up.
Yeah.
And you see Kofi kind of like squeeze the pancake, but they didn't make reference to that. He just was like, "No, I got the power of positive," and he's like squeezes the pancakes, like angrily, like his hands and everything. He's mad, but he's balling up his fist, and pancakes just crumble out of his hands.
Take it out on the pancake. I'm a waffle guy now.
But his face is power of positivity. But this, I'm like, wait a second, like what's going on there? Like why is he squeezing? So I feel like that might have been leading into something as far as maybe they were gonna make. I don't want to say turn them heel. I'm a big fan of heel turns, and we'll discuss one of those here in just a second. But I don't know if they're gonna turn him. But I feel like maybe he was gonna get a little bit more aggressive, and maybe they hinted at that again last night in the tag match with Kofi and Big E versus Rude and Ziggler. And they kept talking about Kofi's loss to Brock. So I don't know if they're like trying to bring that up, but he ate the pin too.
I was going to say, yeah. So the big comment, or what I really took away from that, is you had one of the strongest booked champions, one of the strongest booked single world champions in probably recent memory that you and me can think of. And he ate the pin in a tag team match. Again, and these aren't even the tag team champions. This is still just the thrown together team. I still think of them as just a thrown together team. And there's no offense to either of those two gentlemen who are just in this position. Yeah, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. But for the longest reigning tag team champions in history to take and then Kofi, one of the strongest booked world champions, just to take the pin in that match. What are they doing with that?
I feel like something, like maybe they're leading into something with that. Maybe it was. I don't know if you can do it though with Xavier being out, because now you're gonna have to put him with E. Because normally it's Xavier and E as the tag champs, or at least it has been for the last 9 months. Yeah. Kofi being the champ, but there was still when Kofi lost. He was, there was a run-in afterwards, the Revival and then Heavy Machinery came out and they kind of had a big 4-team feud. But you could see frustration on Kofi afterwards, like, oh my God, I got pinned, and then he just kept, so I don't know if they're building, like maybe he's going to come back a little more aggressive and he might hit a losing streak and try to figure out why is this happening? Yeah. I wasn't losing for 6 months and now I got to. But something is going on with Kofi. And what I really hope they don't do is he turned on E and now you split the New Day up, and don't do that. I feel like they're a permanent team. Like like the Usos or something. Treat them like they're brothers. You're not gonna ever split the Usos up. Don't split the New Day up.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put anything past how they treat people on the main roster right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm with you. I want the New Day to go on down in history. It's one of those main factions that never broke up. Never saw any kind of like internal turmoil besides maybe like with the Xavier Woods and that Bray Wyatt thing a few years ago where he was like under a spell or whatever. That was a little bit shocking. I thought they were aiming for a breakup at that point.
Yeah.
Thank God they didn't. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't ever want to see them ever like separated from each other. Like, I'm glad they stuck through it through this draft. They made it through like 2 or 3 drafts so far all together.
Yeah.
So if they wanted a cheap way to break them up, I think that would have been the good way to, or a cheap way to do it.
Yeah. Without
them losing or turning any of them heel. But if you want to turn the whole faction heel, I'm still fine with that. I thought they did their best work, for a time when they were getting booed out the building because of the power of positivity.
Yep.
They turned that around on them. I thought that was some of their best work.
Exactly. I agree.
And I would love to see that again. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, they're doing great the way they are.
Yeah.
But I do fear for Kofi a little bit,
So yeah, I really don't know what's going on as far as what they're doing with the New Day. But I'm just hoping that it doesn't lead to a split at the end. Maybe best case scenario, and I'll end the New Day because I can run my mouth about them.
There you go, yeah.
Best case scenario, Kofi costs Brock the title, or he interferes in that match somehow, and this begins his pursuit back towards the title. That's like the best case scenario. Why am I hitting this losing streak? Frustration. He interferes in the match. Maybe not give the belt to Kane Velasquez, who I don't believe needs anything to do with the world title, but maybe interfere and hurt Kane, cost him the title. Brock retains, but then he beats Brock. Something crazy.
Okay.
The name of the game, the name of the show is The Heel Turn.
Last time I checked.
And Finn Balor with the big heel turn.
So we're going to look back at 2019 as the year of the heel.
Yes.
Like the year of the heel turn. This is ridiculous. Like, I did not see this coming. I don't know if anybody saw this coming.
I didn't.
No.
I didn't at all.
Like, looking back on it right now, like just thinking about it for a minute, it was going to be a little bit difficult to be able to fit 2 babyface competitors, 2 babyface chasers for Adam Cole's NXT Championship because they came back on the same night. Mm-hmm. It seemed kind of abrupt. It felt kind of, I don't want to say rushed, because obviously Triple H has way bigger aspirations looking way down the line. So, like, we're not even seeing right now as, obvious with this heel turn that nobody saw coming.
Yep.
But, yeah, looking back on it, you can kind of see, like, okay, well, how are they realistically going to book Ciampa, Cole, and Balor together? Would it come down to Ciampa versus Balor, so you got the #1 contenders match, and then, Cole comes in and does basically what Roderick did last week and just cost them both the match, and then William Regal's like, see what you tried to do here, but have you never watched wrestling before in your life? Is this your first episode, sir? Because I'm just gonna throw them both in there.
Yeah.
So that's looking back on it, can't really see what they plan to do with that, but I think this is really welcome. I think this is a really welcome heel turn. This is not what I felt with Bayley the week before. It doesn't like hit me to the core because
that one hurt you, man.
That one hurt me, man.
I loved it.
No,
I loved it.
That's what made it so good. You gotta be able to look back on it and be like, y'all got me. Yeah. If you can't reflect on yourself. But with this one, I think it's a little easier to swallow because for people who've been following Finn Balor back when he was in New Japan and leader of the Bullet Club is Prince Devitt, which was was at the time some of the best heel work going on at the time. You kind of see like this is going to be a natural fit for him and everything like that, and it's not so much a huge shock outside of the initial actions that he did, because you can take a step back now and say, okay, Finn Balor is a heel, I can see that. Yeah. I don't know if the only thing I have to say about it is, do they keep his same theme music? Do they give him a new one? Because after they played it at the end, like after he dropped Gargano on his head, which was that was nasty. Yeah. I had to take a step back. Like I don't usually cover my mouth when I'm watching wrestling. My shock, but I was like, oh. Yeah. ooh, that boy put him on. I was trying to see like how protected was that, because it looked, and
it didn't look protected.
It was just a play. Bam.
The thud didn't help it either. But I did the same thing. I said, how did he land? Because it sounded like. It was bad. It was like, because he looked back. It almost looked like he didn't know how he landed.
Yeah.
Like once he did it, but his face was still.
Had to keep it on. Yeah. Well, he couldn't be like.
Oh my God! Hey man, you.
Yeah, he breathed. All right, yeah, because that was. I had to take a step back from that for a second, but yeah. So, but afterwards, after he did all that, his music started playing. I started listening to it. I was like, oh, this is some real heelish music.
Yep.
I think that I hope they don't change his theme song.
I don't think his music needs to be changed. He doesn't need to go through a complete change. It's already kind of dark music.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like his character's already kind of dark as it is. It's not in the same vein as Bailey's, who was happy and bright and ponytails, and you got to get rid of that. You got to get rid of that for her to turn dark. But he's already been dark. So I think you keep his same image, just change how he comes out and reacts to the fans. But
kind of.
I thought it was great, and it caught me by surprise. I really didn't see that coming.
No.
I really didn't.
I think they found the perfect guy to do it on too, is Gargano.
Yeah.
Because I love you some heel turns. I love me a babyface I can get behind that I don't feel like a complete idiot for wanting to support.
Yep.
And Gargano, for better or worse, people say he's pushed too far on NXT, and like you need to give him a break. He's been in like every main event for like the past 9 takeovers or whatever.
Yep.
And some people are growing sick and tired of him. I'm of the mindset like you have a baby face that is this like not just easy to get behind, but like intelligent.
Yep.
Like he doesn't let anybody come up and just badmouth him or anything like that. They don't let him get the one up on him for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then at the pay-per-view then comes out and overcomes everything. He's a smart babyface, and he's one that you can easily get behind. So to see Finn Balor kind of turn on him, I think that was a perfect move, perfect scenario to do it with, and it still sets him up because I still see Johnny Wrestling as a main event player.
I loved his shirt.
Johnny Wrestling?
No, his shirt that from this past week, it was the NXT for life.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of times people will say, I know I've said it for a while, after each of his big main events, oh, you know what, it's time for him to go up.
Throw him up there. Yeah, he's got nothing else to prove.
And then he wins the North American Championship. Okay, well, maybe he stays for a little bit. Then,
once he drops it, then it's time to go up.
Yep. But Dream beats him for the North American title. So, okay, well, now it's time for him to go. Then he wins the NXT Championship. We'll say, well, maybe a couple more months. And then he loses that. I was like, well, that was the curtain call. Yeah. It's time for him to go.
All right.
And now he's still here, and he's still heavily involved. So
it is. And I think we need to throw a huge assist with that. And I, don't really think about this too often, but you got to throw a huge assist to that to Cody.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes, because if they didn't come out and say, look, this is what we're doing Wednesday nights, could Vince have been like, well, because he already brought, Johnny and Ciampa up with Alistair and Ricochet. And so, gave him that main event, or not main event, that main roster spotlight for a second. So I could have seen him at some point saying, okay, well, let's take this guy back up. We'll put him on Raw or SmackDown, or God forbid, 205 Live, because that was the rumor for a second. But with AEW's emergence and everything, it really had Triple H saying, no, I need to keep this man down here.
Yeah.
Which I think is great, because how did you feel? How did you feel when Tommaso, when Ciampa came out at the end of the show, at the end of this NXT, walked in the ring with all 4 undisputed, and then Johnny Wrestling came out too and was like, all right, let's do this. Like, you hear the crowd chanting DIY, even referencing in the ring.
Yep.
Ciampa's like,
yep. And then they turned toward,
Yeah. So how did you feel about that? Because I know, like, they built up this blood feud between them, and then unfortunately it seems like it's over. But I think that because now NXT is literally considered a second part of WWE in its own, it's referenced now as its own universe. Mm-hmm. We can continue, we can rebuild and revisit that feud here in a minute, and it won't seem like cheap or like we have to because we didn't get that third blow-off match.
I think my initial thoughts is what we were talking about last week, as far as War Games.
Yeah.
So when they came out, and this is before Balor's music hit, I thought maybe they were gonna set up DIY and Keith Lee and
Dijakovic.
I practiced it last night.
Man, I'm gonna have the damn name written out for you. Syllables, like just so you can't forget this.
I practiced it. As they said it in the
you
match.
knew he was gonna have to say it sometime today.
I said Dijakovic. Make sure you remember Dijakovic. And freeze. I freeze on the spot. Anyway, Keith Lee, Dijakovic, and DIY. I thought that's what they were gonna set up. It's already been 4. It would have been 4-on-4. So I thought that's where they were going. But then Balor's music hit. I'm like, oh shit. Maybe they're gonna throw him in there, and then Dream would be the 4th. And I'm like, this is perfect. And then the kick was mean.
That was mean. Dude, he did it like while he was taking his jacket off. He was feeling himself.
Dude.
Oh.
It was mean and it was sweet at the same time.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
I was like, oh my God. What just happened? As far as the execution, that might be one of the better turns in recent memory. Like, he didn't come out and Bailey's was like, hitting their balloons.
Sure, yeah. Give him everybody time to like really comprehend what's going on.
Yeah, this is how I'm turning now. But his was just like, we're about to walk in. I'm about to beat them. Oh. I was like, oh shit. It was great. It was great execution.
It was, and I got to give credit to them for just kind of zooming in on his face, and then in the background you just see the Undisputed Era just beating the hell out of Ciampa. I mean, it was shocking, and I was like, oh, for a minute, but then like if I looked in the background just see him get his ass whooped, I was laughing a little bit. I was like, damn, Ciampa, like you came back for this, bro.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're getting that ass handed to you. So, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited for War Games. Excited to see what that brings. What do you think they're gonna do now?
I think it's probably gonna be Adam Cole versus Ciampa.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what. I know. I got it.
Just now.
I got it.
Light bulb struck.
I got it. Dijakovic, Keith Lee versus the tag team, the champs.
Yeah, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, it's gonna be those two. They're gonna exactly what you said. Like Cesaro and Sheamus, how they just beat the hell out of each other, but then they came to a mutual agreement.
Exactly, yeah.
And those two are going to be a tag team now, and they're going to go against Fish and O'Reilly.
That makes sense.
And then you're going to have Ciampa and Cole, but then you're going to have Balor versus Johnny Wrestling.
Okay.
That's my prediction as to what I think is going to happen there.
Okay.
For War Games.
For War Games, that still leaves, obviously, your North American champion. They don't have to defend every title, obviously. But that's 3 matches right there, and you're looking at what usually takeovers are 5-match cards. So
Dream has to come back.
Well, Dream has to come back, and then you still have, it's War Games. You have to have the War Game structure in there. Mm-hmm. So
maybe they don't defend titles.
That's fine if they don't defend the titles, but do they go back to the 4v4 structure like they had last year, or do they go back to the first one, which I liked a little bit more? I mean, I enjoyed War Games last year, but I liked the first one a little bit more. It was 3 teams set up, and then the competitors started with a triple threat match in the ring, and then they released their team's pods at that stuff. So I could see Cole and Ciampa doing their thing for the NXT championship there at the main event. But, well, maybe not the main event. Obviously, War Games going to have to be the main event. Yeah. But then going in, I can see them doing winner take all for the tag team championships and the North American championship, and then having like an established tag team. I would say, no, I was gonna say the only like triple team I could think of is the Forgotten Sons, and nobody wants to see that. No offense, like they're doing their best with what they
took
get.
an L too.
They did take an L. Okay, so
they took an L. The one, I forget his name now. I'm bad with the names of the newer guys. But the guy that teamed up with Breezango.
Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Yeah. He looked good.
He looked good. Did a backflip moonsault off of Homeboy's chest. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It made me nervous watching it. I was like, please don't slip. Please don't slip.
Afterwards, I had to look back. I was like, were you nervous? Like, was he nervous at all? I was like, are you expecting this? I don't know who they would put in War Games right now. I'm really drawing a blank as to who they could have, like, I see potentially and, like, I don't know, like, realistically in the games right now. You know, not just throwing any 2 teams in there like Breezango.
Yeah.
You know, so
I don't know. I think you set up a good amount of feuds to lead into it. Even with the women, and which let me dive into that because I'm very passionate about this topic.
Sure. Well, let's start off by saying that this week on Raw, there was no women's section. There was no women's segment. There wasn't a single women's segment unless you want to count what was going on between Lana, Bobby, and Rusev.
We don't.
And you don't want to count that.
We don't want to count that.
We want to act like that's not going on.
That needs to end.
Exactly. So, all that considered, there was nothing. There was no. And you picked up Becky and Charlotte. You picked up the 2 biggest names in y'all's women's division. It didn't feature any of them. You have your 2 women. You have the women's tag team champions on your show.
There was no Kabuki.
There was no Kabuki. There was nothing. No Kabuki Warriors. Dude, I'm telling you. There was nothing.
Too, and
there was no women's segment at all.
How do you not include a single women's segment?
They didn't. They managed
to
do
Lana.
it. They managed to do it outside of being in Saudi Arabia. That's what.
Now that I'm thinking about it, there was only the one on SmackDown too.
Nikki and Mandy?
Yeah.
Bro. Look, I get that where they're going, that's still one of the big controversies of them still going out there is women are not allowed to compete out there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're trying to freaking get us ready for it, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, see how the show progressed fine without seeing any women or anything like that? And then it's just supposed to be natural to us whenever, like act like we didn't notice that?
You can't do, in this day and age, you can't do shows without women. Like, Crown Jewel's already going to be invalidated a little bit without it. Exactly. The last few that they've done over in Saudi, you feel like something's missing the whole time.
Yeah.
Then they made it a big deal because didn't Renee get to go the last time to do commentary? Mm-hmm. Oh, they get to have Renee over. Okay, that's cool. But what about your champions?
Exactly. And they try to buff that up too. Like, see, we changing it. Yeah. Watch, next year we might have 2 women.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You have women that can compete. Mm-hmm. Like, there was somewhere, I want to say it was Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
And they had to cover, because their attires, normally shorts and stuff. But they just had on like full gear.
Yeah, the full bodysuit kind of for their attire.
And they got they got to actually compete. So I wonder why they couldn't just do that.
It was like you said, I don't remember the country because it wasn't Saudi Arabia. It's a completely different country.
Yeah. It was the first time like women ever competed in that place too, but they just
which
is fine.
Well, I think they actually. I don't want to discredit that. I'd have to go back and actually check. But I remember because when they did do that and they were in the bodysuit and everything like that, I was watching some of the other YouTube channels and everything like that, and I want to say it was on. I think it was What Culture Wrestling or whatever. But they were talking about that, and they said, no, this is the first time WWE's women have done it.
Yeah.
Because I think Impact or TNA, whatever they were called at the time, actually had a knockouts match up in that country. So, first ever, they're hoping nobody Googles it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. They do that all the time. Like, first ever, whatever, hope you don't Google it. Okay, y'all.
They're doing that now with Braun and...
Nakamura?
No, Braun and...
Braun.
Braun Strowman and the guy, the boxer that he's about to fight. Tyson Fury.
Oh, first ever undefeated champion
against. But didn't Mayweather fight Big Show?
Which was actually a pretty good match. Like,
yeah.
WrestleMania 20.
Was Mayweather a champion?
Yeah, undefeated.
Undefeated, right?
Yep.
Are they saying heavyweight or are they just saying like...
I think they meant heavyweight, but they probably just didn't specify heavyweight. But they're not going to research their own stuff, man. They don't... Whoever was doing the writing for them back in that time period for Floyd Mayweather, damn sure don't work for the company anymore. There's no continuity there anyway. But to get back to what we were saying about the women not being included, you had something you wanted to talk about NXT's women or the scene for the NXT women.
So, we spoke about it last week. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Yep. That was a big match this week. It kicked off NXT, if I'm not mistaken. That was the first match.
Started off.
And it was a good match. It was a really great match, actually. Went back and forth. And I'm not mad at the outcome. Bianca's my girl. But I also like Rhea. I didn't think she would be able to do some of the things that she does. The one submission that she has where she has them
Yeah, kind of like I don't want to say a reverse cloverleaf kind of looking thing. Yeah,
I was like, she's not gonna be able to do that against Bianca. Bianca's kind of, she's a little bigger. She's a little bigger, yeah. And she did it. I was like, oh my gosh, she got it. But that match was great, and the outcome is good. And then you had the run in at the end and everything, and they just they're building multiple feuds there in NXT, and it's great. I love how they're doing that. With that being said, I feel like they're not doing... Like, NXT has the best women's wrestling, I would say, right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, outside of, like, what you consider Stardom, which is actually all women's wrestling in New Japan.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
I feel like I was more into... I love Bayley. I love that she turned heel. But after... I'm not into this Nikki Cross feud.
It's a place-holding feud, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like with that, they're buying time till they can build Sasha and Bayley. I feel like, and then like you said on Raw, they just ignored the women this week. They didn't even. At least SmackDown made an attempt to be like, hey, we're gonna throw a match to make Nikki Cross get some little credibility, but I feel like NXT is really like, yo, these are our women. These are stars. We're competing against AEW right now, and the first match we throw out is our women, and we're gonna put on a hell of a match. And if we were in the position to be watching back and forth, like change the channel here, which one do I want to watch? We have to watch, as we mentioned before, we have to watch things the next day in our location. But if I was in the States and I could change the channel back and forth, I would have watched the women's match.
Okay.
I would have watched that match because it was so good. And I don't feel like they're doing that on the main roster right now.
Absolutely not. And what you talk, or sorry to cut you off, but if you listen to the commentary during the match and even like during the runs and everything, like Mauro, Nigel, and Beth are all building up. These are all women in the hunt for Shayna Baszler's championship. Yep. It's not like, oh dang, what's Io doing out here? Mm-hmm. They had some kind of run-in last week or something like that.
And Candice
comes out, they have their feud and everything like that. And it's all, they're having problems with each other, but they made sure to build up. But all these women are viable title contenders.
Yep.
So even, like you said, with Raw not doing anything on SmackDown, they're not going to build up Mandy like she's like even in the hunt for the championship. Mm-hmm. So you have your number one contender, and that's it. No, everyone else is a scrub until the next pay-per-view. Yep. Is how the main roster built it up.
Rhea Ripley won the match against Bianca. My names are... So Rhea beat Bianca. But it still didn't make it seem like... that. I mean, that was the big match, and they kind of made it seem like the winner of this one is the next number one contender. They were kind of building that match like it was, but at the same time... Candice is still in the picture. Here I am.
Io Shirai. We gonna get you a list, bro.
I'm gonna have to have a paper on the desk.
It's gonna be once we do these editing. We're gonna have you just read off everybody's name to start off the video, and then we're gonna cut and edit. And it's gonna be like a regular conversation. It's going Io, and then you better right back in. Like you ain't miss a beat.
My names are terrible. I know what I mean, but my names are terrible.
It's on everybody else to figure it out. Y'all need to figure out who he means.
Yeah, this is going to be a new game on this show. I'm just going to leave it blank.
Fill in the name,
But I feel like NXT, and this is probably a credit to Triple H, that he takes care of his talent, and he's like making sure that they're invested. That's why a lot of people probably don't want to leave NXT. But for what? This is the life down here. I'm built great down here. I look good. Even in a loss, Bianca looks strong.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like you said, like they didn't specify Rhea was going to be the next champion contender because you could still theoretically see Bianca somehow making her way into that match.
Yep. You could put Candice LeRae in there.
Exactly. All four of those women seem like actual contenders right now.
Yep. And then here's another part of it. Because I could talk about that match, that scenario. That's a great scenario. But then they even brought the tag team match in there. And the winner faces the Kabuki Warriors, who weren't seen on your main show and their main roster talent. I missed that match. I didn't see who won the tag. I missed the winner of it.
So Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox beat Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke, and they're actually coming along. Those two are actually coming along pretty well. They look like really good heels at the time. The crowd, I think, was just drained. They had a whole night of spectacular wrestling to deal with. And even these 4 women put on a pretty great match. And then the best part, they finished. Tegan Nox hit the shiniest wizard, picked up the 3. They're your new number 1 contenders. And then on the screen, Asuka and Kairi Sane appeared on the screen and just started, belittling, talking down to Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai, throwing a little bit English in between all their Japanese roasting, because they just straight up cussing in Japanese on the screen. That's what they love that. And then and they're like they're going into like that psychotic realm of like they're not just like heels, they're like crazy heels. They're like, y'all don't stand a chance against this, and I believe them. And on NXT, I believe that they'll rip your head off. I believe they'll do crazy stuff to win. On the main roster, Vince is just like, just go out there, say some Japanese stuff. Get a what chant going, which I hate, by the way. Anytime anybody does a what chant for any of the foreign or anybody speaking a different language other than English, that pisses me off to no end. That's like so.
I don't like the what chant in general. Like,
no, it's dead. Yeah, it's really dead. But I hate it when if somebody's being boring, like Baron Corbin, okay, fine. Yeah. That's his shtick, and he's really good at it. Get a what chant going, he shuts it down. He can do that. Yeah. But when they do it just because an individual is foreign, that pisses me off. Yep. That's so intolerable. So we passed all that, but they continue to do it. So not getting too deep into that about back to the Kabuki Warriors. They look phenomenal. They look like a real threat just on that promo that they cut.
I just like the way the NXT is handling the women, and like you said, maybe it's just that they're trying to get us used to the fact that. Maybe they're trying to save the big storylines till after Crown Jewel.
Because they got so much time to set it up for Survivor Series. Survivor Series is like 2 or 3 weeks away.
Damn, it is not.
It's pulling up, bro. And they have nothing built for that. Are they really going to brand warfare? Because I'm okay with, like, the last 2 years, the brand warfare thing has been kind of cool. Simply because, we had, even just last year, we had Ronda versus Charlotte, which should have been Ronda versus Becky, all that aside. Really glad that ended up the way that it did. Yeah. And then the last 2 Universal versus WWE Championship matches, you saw Brock versus AJ, which was phenomenal, pun intended. And then you had Brock versus Bryan, which Brock does really well with these tiny guys. That, not tiny, with these smaller individuals that he really will work for. Really do his best to work with and everything like that.
Except for Kofi. Or something.
Except for Kofi, it was
I won't
time constraints, whatever.
Yeah, I won't go into that.
Yeah, I know. It hurt me too, bro. But I could look forward to that kind of scenario again, because Brock is the champion again. But I don't really want to see Brock versus Seth again. Yeah. Because it was done. It was good when it was done both times. I think they're going to do it to death. I can't watch that again, or I just don't want to watch it again. So Survivor Series, they're not really building for that. So what are they? There's really no excuse not to be having the women on at this point.
Normally, the last few years, somebody drops the title right before Survivor Series. Are we counting this Kofi loss as the?
No, because they dropped the title right before they go fight Brock. Yeah. So is it? No, they're gonna drop. He gonna drop the title to Kane.
No, is Seth gonna drop to Bray? Which now you got to switch the show.
That's true. Look, I'm feeling it right now. Calling it. Future prediction. It's gonna be The Fiend versus Cain Velasquez Survivor Series. Book it right now, because he might as well.
Look, I wasn't going to talk about this till later on. Cain Velasquez has no reason to be in this ring. To me,
right now. Okay.
And unless there's something I'm missing, I know that I've seen that he was doing great in Mexico, and I wish they would have just let him do that. Like, come with the mask on and do. Why did you have to take? Why do you have to take the mask off of people? Like, why? Like,
because then Vince McMahon gets confused. They all look the same.
No,
they all look the same when they're in the mask. Like, I don't understand.
I've never liked that in wrestling. No. I didn't like when Ray had to take it off in WCW.
That was
I didn't like when Juventud Guerrera had to take it off. Like, leave people that have masks on. Leave their mask on. If Kane's over there in Mexico showing out, doing a great job as a Lucha Libre star, let him continue to do that. We don't need that. He could have came back and did that against Brock.
That'd have been pretty cool. Just came back in a Sin Cara mask.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that would have been. Like, damn, Sin Cara really got some. Lose and gain some tattoos?
Yeah. What just happened? Like, then he just destroys Brock.
Oh, yeah.
Man, Sin Cara, he's come a long way.
He's the hardest dude I know.
Yeah. I don't like that, but from his showing against Shelton Benjamin, that takedown, and then, you know what? Here's where I look at that. When Brock Lesnar first came back years ago, and he came in the ring and he attacked Cena, Brock came back and it was like he didn't realize he was in WWE again. Like, he came back and he punched the shit out of Cena. Like, bam, hard as, like he was in the octagon. And Cena just ate it, like, oh, face is busted open, okay, like, whatever. But on the flip side of that, Kane came in there when he was hitting Shelton Benjamin. It was like, like, oh, I'm barely touching you.
Yeah,
like, no, you can rough him up a little bit. Have you not watched?
He's trying to be polite, you know?
No, rough Shelton up.
Poor Shelton, man. I like Shelton.
I do too.
Don't be beating up on Shelton just cause. Come on. Rough him up a little bit. He deserves it. Like, no, I like Shelton. I'm glad he walked out of there with no scars.
I like Shelton Benjamin too, but if you're trying to build Cain Velasquez up, every time I think about Shelton Benjamin, I think about WrestleMania 29. I have to explain that too.
Okay, yeah.
But if you're building Cain Velasquez up to be a threat against Brock Lesnar, you can't have him look like that. You got to make him look like a badass.
That's true.
You got to come out here and, because some of us, like, I remember them fighting in UFC, but that's been years ago.
Over a decade ago.
Yeah, and some people have never seen that. So this guy's a threat to Brock, who you have looking like a killer. Every time he shows up into a ring, he looks like he's on pure destruction. You can't have Kane come out here and just be...
Mm-hmm. You can't let Shelton just roll out the ring.
Yeah, Shelton needed to get stretchered out.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't want that for Shelton.
No, yeah.
But
he needed it. Yeah,
it needed to happen, and they didn't do that. Well, I'll tell you this real quick. Shout out to my boys my NBN crew. After WrestleMania 29, that was the first WrestleMania I went to. These guys stop us after the event. Big show's great. We're going home or going back to the hotel. These guys run up to us. They say, "Hey, y'all hear what's gonna happen tomorrow night?" We're like, "What? What are y'all talking about?" They're like, "Big return. It's gonna be a big return tomorrow night on Raw." So, oh, shit, what y'all know that we don't know? Because we're all big wrestling fans.
Yeah.
They're like, it was like, dude, like it was like they cut a promo on us. It's like how me and you are talking right now, just as friends.
Yeah. But
they came up on us and they said, tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, Shelton Benjamin is returning. And we're like, that's what you're hyping us up for? You cut a promo on us for Shelton Benjamin, and then he didn't even show up. He didn't even. You came up and stopped us on our way to our hotel to cut a promo about Shelton Benjamin. Shelton didn't even come for like 2 more years after. It was like 3 more years. Yeah. Oh, that's one of those.
It's not your fault, Shelton. I don't say that right now. It's not your fault that he's upset about that. You probably had something else going on. He didn't hold it against you.
I'm not mad at Sheldon.
That's not why you needed the beating. That's not why you needed the beating this past week.
No. Those guys needed the beating for cutting the promo on us like that. Oh, I'll never forget that. That was great. I wish you could have been there, man. It was ridiculous.
It's the heel turn story time right here.
Oh man, those guys pissed me off. But yeah, I really don't think they made him look good. And then I don't like that Ray's son just has to keep taking these L's.
I'm fine with his son taking these L's. What I don't understand is why Ray keep bringing his son to the damn... Look, man. All right, the first time that... Nobody could have saw that coming. I get it. You father trying to show his son, hey, bring your son to work day. Listen to what he does. Like he ain't been watching you. Like his freaking birth certificate went up in a ladder match a few years ago.
Yeah.
We act like that didn't happen or something. But sure, bring him to work, show him around, let him get in the ring a little bit, whatever. Mm-hmm. Can't help that. Brock came in. You had that coming.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But Really, bro? You gonna bring him again? Like that should probably be at least let your arm heal. At least be able to defend him just in case this did happen again.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, nah, babysitter canceled on us. We ain't got nobody to watch the kid for the weekend. I guess it's Friday night. Mom's out with the girlfriend and stuff. Just come to work with dad. First of all, he's a 22-year-old man or something like that.
Man.
Yeah, it's like this boy. If he gets beat, that's on him. And at the same time, you can say, Dad, look.
Yeah.
I ain't no bitch. but Brock Lesnar's a big boy.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he got it out for me. I don't know what you did to him back in the day, but I ain't trying to take these L's for you.
Yeah. I'm staying home for this one.
Exactly.
Let me finish healing from the last ass whooping.
Exactly. Trust me. Like, look, we got cable. We got the package. All right, I got FS1. I'm going to catch you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me know how it goes. This man had nope. Oh, man. And the beating he took, I know it just cut backstage to start off with him just getting, assumed beating from Brock.
Yeah.
But then he had to go ahead and get Cain Velasquez dropped on him while he was on that bed. That freaked me out a little bit. I was like, oh, because he was just laying there.
Yep.
He just took a grown 230-something pound man, just landed on you.
Yep.
And he rolled off the table.
Brock came back there on a mission.
But, oh, man. And I shouldn't have been laughing because I know it's supposed to be a real evil, real heel thing to do. But there was one point in time where he just, like, after he was beating on Kane with the trash can, go back and check this out. This made me laugh so hard. It's not anybody's fault. But Rey Mysterio jumps on Brock with one arm. just lands on him. It's like, ah! And that boy just catches him and just throws him against the wall. The jump was the funniest part for me. The jump and the landing had me rolling. I had to like rewind that just to watch the jump. I couldn't believe he landed and caught him with one arm.
That's what I said when NWO takeover happened. Ray comes jumping off the trailer. He comes jumping off the side of the trailer. Kevin Nash catches Ray and throws him right into the wall. And Ray's body just goes bloop. Like, come on, Ray, you should know. You should know at this point to stop jumping off of
jumping
stuff.
off people, man.
Like, come on. Every time it leads, it was like Kevin Nash threw him like he was a dart. It was like bloop. Ray's head just goes bam.
That's exactly what just happened this past week.
It's like you got to figure that out.
So I'll give Brock the credit for that. That was pretty. It was a brutal beatdown of the entire Mysterio, whatever you want to call family. It was good. It looked good. Cain Velasquez looked like he got punked, which is a problem.
Yeah.
But other than that, Brock looked strong for this one, so I'm cool with that. But I like Dominic. Just say you want to stay home, man. You ain't got to.
The one thing that I don't like, and WWE is good at choreographing things that are about to happen in the future. Normally, if whoever takes the L the week leading into the event,
and we've been conditioned years for this. Usually comes out on top.
Yeah. So does that mean Kane's about to beat Brock for the title?
We still got Monday Night Raw to fix that, but no, I don't see that happening. I still don't see that happening. If I had to put money on it. No, Kane is not touching. He's not sniffing that belt. If I had to put money on it.
Win by disqualification or something?
No contest?
Something's got to happen. Because you can't... Unless that's part of the contract and, that's behind the scenes stuff that we don't even know about. But why would you debut and get the title like your first... you're unproven in this side of it. I don't know. I just don't want it to happen. I don't see it happening personally. So, but the way that WWE is, you take that L, you take that big L. He took a big L. You take a big L, usually you come back with a vengeance and then you win the title on the next event.
Yep.
So, hopefully that doesn't happen leading into this next thing. Real quick, I wanted to talk about, I forgot to mention this while we were talking about NXT. The Matt Riddle, and I know I told you before I don't like Matt Riddle.
Yeah, because you weird like that. I don't know how.
The Matt Riddle and Cameron Grimes match. That was a great match, man. It looked bad at first. It looked like it was going to be a squash. But then it wound up being a great match. It like back and forth. And then when Cameron Grimes hit the backflip onto Matt Riddle, and hit him with
the German.
Oh my God! I almost lost it.
Yeah,
dude.
I had to stop. I had to take a break. I
threw the remote up. I said, "He did what?" Because it was perfect. It was like flip, land, German. I said, "Oh my God!" Who is this Cameron Grimes guy?
Yeah, he's pretty great. I saw a little bit of him when he was Trevor Lee, I believe, when his name was Trevor Lee in Impact. That's when I first got a glimpse of him. Yeah, I never thought WWE would sign him because he didn't have that look. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't have that look about him, but he's great.
He's great.
He's great. My only thing is, how many matches is it going to take for Matt Riddle just to convince you that he's the man?
Okay,
how many matches is it going to take? Okay, because we ain't got... Look, what do you need from him to... Matt, what do you need to do to convince this man? Because this is... I don't understand it.
Bro!
The original, the king of... And you repeatedly refuse not to give him props, but to acknowledge that he is that main event player.
He is. Hey, respect. Because his last few contests, as much as I've been like, man, this guy sucks, it's like he's shutting me up each time. So
every time, I'm telling you.
Look, man.
You're a little late to the party. We'll still let you in. We still got some drinks.
Let me in the party.
We still got a little bit of drinks left. All right. It's bottom of the barrel for you because we know we know you was at the other party. We knew you was at the other house party, the rival house party. But now you're here. We all friends in here. Matt Riddle Club, the original Bros. I'm glad to see you finally coming on board with that.
Yeah, I'm down, man. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and begin to wrap things up for this week, but I wanted to touch on, we didn't speak too much on Raw, but I wanted to touch on at least the main event with the Street Profits, and that can lead us right into the AEW conversation. But I wanted to talk about the Street Profits versus the Club, and I thought the Street Profits looked good. I thought they had a very strong, debut in that match. They matched up well against the Club, and then it was great to see Kevin Owens come back. Even though the KO and AJ feud, I'm like, well, do we need to see this again? But it was great to see that the Street Profits, after weeks of just sitting backstage being hype men for the B show, they actually put on a great match against the Club, and I think they have the momentum. You know, that was like the bright spot of Raw for me, was to see that match. The main event ended the show strong.
Yeah, I agree with you. I disagree with you on two things. One, I'm excited to see KO and AJ. The dynamic has changed because the original time we saw them, KO was the heel, AJ was the champion. Yeah. They're still fighting. I hope they go, do it for the U.S. title. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for that. But I really am excited to see new face KO go against heel AJ. And if they let them cut their own promos, I'm gonna be rolling. I'm gonna be on the floor laughing because these boys are hilarious. Mm-hmm. I love seeing them cut their own promos. So I'm gonna just real quick. I know you probably wasn't thinking about it like that, but I'm gonna disagree with you on that. I do want to see them again. Yeah. And then the only other thing is, yes, I think if they were booked strong for their debut, the Street Profits. I just hope that it doesn't become they are the comedy tag team of Monday Night Raw. Because I'm trying to think who would be the comedic tag, because they always have a comedic tag team. On SmackDown, it's Heavy Machinery, or the New Day switch off. Right now, it's really Otis doing his thing, and I love Otis, man. Give that boy every championship. But I hope that they don't become they were the hype men. I hope they don't become just the comedy tag team. Is my only thing, because like you said, they debuted really strong. Yep. I think they're gonna be good, and I just hope that they continue on that path credibly and can be like. I want to be that little girl. I want to be that little baby that, Montez Ford was holding at the end. Did you see the last shot? That was hilarious. That popped my wife big. She was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Yeah, I know. That's how we all feel right now."
See, I gotta say that since Bianca is my girl, Montez, that's my boy. They married, so exactly. That's my boy. I like the Street Profits. So
I love the Street Profits too.
I agree with you. I want to see them booked well. They put on some great matches to close out their run in NXT, so I just want them to kind of continue with that. But you made me think about something that I didn't think about, as far as we talked off camera about Crown Jewel, and AJ has they have the tournament for number one contender. Do you think Kevin Owens is in the tournament? I don't remember Kevin Owens going.
No, he's not going.
He's not going.
No, he's refusing to work. Him and Daniel Bryan are refusing to work.
Okay. So that takes
that one out. Plus, I wouldn't want to see that because no matter what at Crown Jewel, it's not canon. AJ, whoever his challenger is, probably not taking it.
Yeah.
So, they won't reference it the next day. Don't even really matter to me. So, pushing that aside, speaking on tag teams, we had the conclusion of the semifinals for the tag team tournament this week on AEW.
Yep.
And I know you were able to catch. I know you weren't able to catch the whole show, but I know you were definitely able to catch these two matches.
Yep.
And AEW are not playing around with a tag team division, bro.
Not at all.
Not
at all. But I'm glad you led it that way because I do not like Private Party.
What?
I'm
shocked. This is this real shock reaction. I did not expect this.
I don't like them, man.
You don't like Private Party? What don't you like about them?
I feel like they're gimmick, not their wrestling. Not
they're phenomenal high flyers.
Yes, I agree with that. Their in-ring wrestling is great.
Okay.
I won't knock that. But their gimmick, I feel, is a rip-off of the Street Profits. I feel like they're a knockoff Street Profits.
Okay.
As far as their gimmick.
Sure.
But as far as their execution and their ring work, yes, they're great at that. Even though I feel like sometimes I don't want to say scripted. I don't want to say their moves are scripted, but it looks like they're waiting to properly execute it. Whereas, Montez and D'Angelo, they work great. It's like they're a well-oiled machine and they're just moving right. I don't know. It's just that comparison to me. When I see the gimmick of Private Party, I just see a knockoff of the Street Profits.
Okay. Maybe. I don't think the Young Bucks are really going for that. They might be, when they picked them up and might have seen over at NXT, be like, hey, and unfortunately, it does become they're feeding a certain demographic with these individual tag teams.
Yep.
But, everybody loves the Street Profits. No matter what color you are, everybody loves the Street Profits for the most part, obviously. And then for Private Party, I believe it's kind of the same way in the view of AEW. Like you said, you might see a knockoff Street Profits as long as they're not, straight up like. Because it's a different dynamic. They're both high flyers as opposed to, the in-ring work where Angelo Dawkins is more the powerhouse comes in for that hot
and
tag.
there's no powerhouse.
There's no powerhouse.
They're both high flyers.
And like you said, it's mostly the gimmick for you.
Yeah.
It's not really their wrestling. Because their wrestling I think is really good. It's phenomenal. Yeah. And the part where they maybe look like they're setting up their moves, I think needs a little bit more just because with the Street Profits, Angelo and Montez don't really do, they do a lot of tag team scenarios, but it's never it doesn't really feel like one has to hold the other one while the other one does it.
Yeah.
Like with Private Party, everything they do depends on the other individual. So
the hand hold, the run,
exactly.
jump off.
So
that was a great spot.
Yeah.
It was a great spot, but it just.
And that's teach their own. Absolutely, It was a little shock. I wasn't expecting that. From you to say that you didn't like Private Party's gimmick, but the match itself against the Lucha Bros was amazing, and I hope it doesn't become too transparent. But I'm loving these Lucha Bros, and if Ray Phoenix is not your favorite wrestler in the world right now, there's something wrong with you. No offense to anybody out there, but Ray Phoenix has done it for me. That man has won me over. Every time he gets in the ring, I gotta hold my breath. I gotta take a deep breath. I got the AED machine on standby because this man is gonna take my breath away, and I cannot wait every week. And I'm looking forward to next week.
I predicted they would win the tournament.
We both got the Lucha Bros winning it.
We both predicted Lucha Bros, and I'm over the last couple of weeks. My man Scorpio Sky has kind of impressed me though.
He's got it. I'm telling you, he's got something.
Last week he didn't have no shoes. He didn't have no gear.
He didn't have nothing.
This week he has some gear, and he's still impressed me. I like SCU as a team.
I don't think they're taking it.
They're not gonna win.
I don't think so either.
I think they impressed me. I think they're because before I thought this is gonna wind up being a squash match with the Lucha the Lucha
Don't you disrespect my brother like that. Don't you? And no disrespect to the Lucha Dragons. Y'all was great in NXT, but that is no Ray Phoenix and Pentagon.
No, my apologies, Lucha Bros. They I thought it was gonna be a squash. They were just gonna after last week. They looked just. There's a few times, a few of those moves that they hit. I was like, oh my god, I don't ever want to see that again.
Yeah.
And then this week I was kind of prepared for it. Okay, he's about to kill him now.
Yeah, okay.
I'm good. But I was expecting they're just going to steamroll into the titles.
Sure.
But I think SCU is going to be a good match. I think that's going to be steal the show next week.
Yeah.
And then the Rock and Roll Express is going to be there.
Going to be giving the titles out.
That.
That is going to be cool.
That you brought the legends in. I hadn't seen them in a while.
No, but they still active.
Yeah.
They still doing their thing.
Why are you active? Why?
They got families to feed. But I don't even think they got to feed their family. I think that's just the love of it.
You could just show up and get a paycheck. Rock and Roll Express. Hey, if you ever see me, I spend money to see them.
Oh,
you don't gotta fight no more.
You gotta earn it, baby. That's the mentality.
But yeah, they
I'm excited for that next week. I think they did the right thing too. They built a story for this tournament because I thought it was just gonna be just straight competition, whatever. Whoever's the best competitor is gonna meet in the end in the final. So I'm really excited that they actually, had, like I said, had the story, had the Lucha Bros come out, kind of establish themselves as the heel team. Even though you really can't hate these guys. I don't know how it's damn near impossible to hate these fools. And then you have SCU getting the sympathy because of Christopher Daniels and everything like that.
Yeah.
And plus, I just think the Dark Order. I like the Dark Order personally.
Yeah, they look good.
I like them.
They look good.
Yeah, those boys can fly around. That man, was it Evil Uno?
Yeah.
He, for a big guy, he's got some agility. He can move around. And then Stu Grayson, there was just one part. So like that. It's been done before, but like the one set of moves where like one man will run into a corner, clothesline him, then like head to the other corner. Well, and then one guy just chases him, and like when he turns around to bump into the corner, clothesline him. Mm-hmm. So they were doing that. Stu Grayson and Scorpio Sky, they were doing that. But then the second time after Stu Grayson hit him, turned around to get more momentum, and Scorpio chased him. That fool launched himself over the turnbuckle, took out Frankie Kazarian, and man, that blew my mind. Like I did not see that coming.
Even Scorpio stopped. If I'm not mistaken, Scorpio stopped and was like, "What?" Yeah, I remember that he went straight over the
straight over the thing. I thought something had gone wrong with my TV. I was like, "What happened? Where did he?" Oh, he took that was the match was great. I'm glad there wasn't no interference with the minions and everything like that. All came down pretty was it straightforward.
Those minions are creepy.
They're a little creepy.
They're a little weird.
Yeah, I hope we get.
I like it. It's a good creep. It's not like they should get rid of it.
Yeah. Like they are a little weird. It's kind of it's the creepy version of what's that dude in Ring of Honor with his boys or whatever. They used to be his boys. He used to have like the peacock gimmick.
I can't think of.
Ah man, you have to edit this part out because I ain't trying to. Y'all ain't gonna find me on this damn.
We'll get him for the names too.
No.
We're leaving this in here.
Damn it.
We gotta get him with the names too.
I'm gonna come back. Dalton Castle. Got it.
Dang it.
Now it's the over under. See when I'm finally gonna forget a name. But yeah, Dalton Castle in Ring of Honor. He does that too with his boys and just have like the minions come out and he just makes a chair out of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, I just think it was the right move to have SCU go over. Looking forward to the championship next week, and maybe looking forward to getting know a little bit more about the Dark Order. We really don't know much about them.
Yeah.
They're just some weird team thrown together in AEW. Just undefeated, took their first loss this week, and we don't know much about them.
That part made me think that they stood a chance.
Because it was undefeated?
That part, the undefeated. Once they came out to the ring, and I love that about AEW. That makes me more invested in the matches.
Wins and losses.
Yeah, I don't know why something that small. I've been watching wrestling for 34 years, and I'm like something as small as wins and losses. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
All right, who's gonna win now? Like, but when they said that, I was like, ooh, okay, maybe this isn't gonna be clear cut because I felt like SCU was gonna win the match.
Sure.
But then I saw the wins and losses. I was like, ooh, they undefeated. They're not gonna lose tonight. Tonight's not their night to lose.
That's true.
And it was.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier right now because there's a bunch of teams a bunch of people only have 1 or 2 losses on their record.
Yeah.
But as years go on, you start seeing that record. I don't know if like every year the record resets. That might be something to look into because 3-4 years down the line, you don't want to go in there and see the Young Bucks 17 and 21. You'd be like.
Yeah.
What? Ugh.
Yeah.
Over all time. Ugh. So hopefully
you ain't making the playoffs with that.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully, I hope they do something like this. But every year it'll reset. Kind of like a WrestleMania kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They hit, let's say, I don't know, All Out 2 or Double or Nothing 2 or something like that. Be their main event kind of pay-per-view.
Start the season over
the next year. Mm-hmm. That'd be something that I think would really work really well. But moving on from that, so you had. Great opening tag team matches.
Yep.
Then you go into segment with Cody, Chris Jericho.
Yep.
And I love that they referenced, look man, you might be up there, but this ain't that other shit. There ain't no invisible wall between. I go up there, whoop your ass right now if I needed to. And that to me, like, you could hear the arena got a pop. I got a pop too. I was like, it sure ain't this other show. Yo, you don't know who that is in the ring, boy. So that popped me pretty good. So I was excited. And you and me was talking off camera about this. And I agree with you a little bit. It just made me laugh when you said his posse came out. And I'm all about MGF. He looks like the future.
Yep.
But then you got, and even Dustin right now still got a little bit going in him.
Yeah, he still got a little bit.
But then you had old yoga instructor DDP come out, and I was thinking to myself, Santana Ortiz, how y'all really finna be scared of the old yoga instructor come up here?
Look, I know I'm gonna do this. Hey Google, how old is Diamond Dallas Page?
I'll say 62.
Sure. Let me get some more information.
No, that's not what. It's not what I asked you.
Google had to look it up. That's how.
Google didn't
That's
even
how
know.
old Diamond Dallas Page is. Google had to find out. It's like, give me a second, I'll figure it out.
If it's not off the top, Google is usually quick. Diamond Dallas Page is 63 years old.
Oh, see, I was one off.
63 years old. You have all these. Look, granted, Dustin and Jericho are. Dustin's already 50.
He's already 50. Chris Jericho's pushing 50.
Yeah,
I think.
Jericho's pushing it. Okay, so they're a little older than everybody else. But DDP,
That yoga made him feel 10 years younger, I'll tell you what.
I get it. DDP is my boy, man. Like, from back in the day. And I feel like Randy Orton just stole his move and is trying to build off of it. But I don't fear 63-year-old DDP. Like, if this was 20 years ago, he might just sneak a diamond cutter out of nowhere on me.
Sure.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
63-year-old DDP, not so much.
Nah. Might as well set Pharaoh out there.
Yeah, no.
I'd have been more scared of the dog coming up than old DDP. But I don't want to roast DDP.
Hey,
He a legend.
He did move good.
Yeah.
He was in the fight. I'll give him that much. But when his music hit and he comes, I was like, "That's your fourth guy.
The ace in the hole.
This is who you're gonna go to war games with."
That's right.
This is a different person. But no, the scary part of that is I loved when here I am again. Scarf. MJF hands the scarf over. He wraps it with Cody, and Cody breaks through. But did you see the glass? And Jericho it looks like he just barely missed the glass. Like when he hit the punch, it was like shoot. Jericho was like. The glass goes. I was like, oh, did it get him? Like,
Yeah.
because he had already taken his glasses off at the point. So I was like, maybe if he's got the glasses on, then it'd break. But
Yeah.
he
A little
was like,
safer.
yeah, he's like this. I was like, oh. And then they continued to fight. I was looking the whole time to see if Jericho's going to be like going for his eye.
Trying to catch something. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah. And then he like dunks his head into the Dippin' Dots. It's like,
Oh, that was funny. What was it? Tony Schiavone's like, oh no, not the Dippin' Dots. And I was sitting there too. I was like, no, not the Dippin' Dots.
Everybody's mad about
Like,
that.
ah.
There was a guy standing off to the side of it. It was like he was probably next in line to get it. He's like, no, I just paid $5.
Been waiting like 30 minutes for this.
That was a good segment.
That's how you set up a world title feud, I think.
Yeah.
It's all coming together.
Yeah. I hope because who would MJF fight in that?
He could take on Sammy Guevara, but right now I think they're gonna bring him in every time Cody needs a little backup, but I think they're gonna keep him separate just because he's his own heel.
Yeah. So we also had the Moxley versus Pac. And there were a few spots. The Avalanche Falcon Arrow. Did you see that
Yes.
spot? That was poetry in motion. That was amazing. It looked like it was going to be bad. Like, as they were coming down.
Yeah.
But he did it, and he went straight down. I was like, wow, I rewound it. Soon as it happened.
Check, yeah.
Yeah, I went back to watch it again. And then, like, right after I rewound it, they showed, like, 3 replays of it. But it was that good of a spot to me. It coming down. So that Avalanche Falcon Arrow, that was like, as far as those kind of high risk maneuvers, that one looked amazing in the way that it landed. And then I was like, okay, that was your big spot in the match. There's nothing else you can do after this part.
Sure.
Then he does the 450 to the outside. He goes, oh my God. Just like...
You knew that hurt.
It had to hurt.
Had to hurt.
It had to. But he got up like it was nothing. But I was like, you know your ribs hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And your knees.
Because my shoes.
But I can't recall anybody doing that from the apron to the floor. I think we've seen everything in wrestling before. I've never seen the Avalanche Falcon Arrow before.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
I never saw that.
Nah.
Which raises the question. I'm going to throw this out here. Is Pac one of the best wrestlers in the world today?
Definitely booked it. I would have to say yeah. I would definitely say yeah. Maybe top 10. I don't have my list with me. Go through and be like off the top of my head. I still got to give it to like Okada, Omega, Ospreay, AJ. You know, I still a bunch of people that I would maybe put ahead of him at this point. But of course, Kofi. Before I get kicked off the show for not saying Kofi.
Slide you some money.
But he's definitely been booked that way because I think he's only lost twice in a year in kayfabe terms. He's only lost twice, been booked to lose cleanly, and then some of the stuff he can do, man. That Black Arrow, that's that's one of a kind of thing. So I forgot
how sweet that looks.
It's beautiful
because he's been doing different like. That used to be his highlight in NXT and WWE. He didn't do some of these other things so you didn't know his arsenal was this deep. But now that's almost like after I see an Avalanche Falcon Arrow and a 450 to the floor and all, I'm like, and you still have the Black Arrow. Well, you can still do that. Oh,
so, which actually kind of brings up a point. Do you think because the match ended in a draw? So it came down to a draw, and I'm going to ask you about that here in a minute as well. Or you can actually touch on that with my question. It can be a two-part question. So were you okay with the match ending in a draw? Excuse me. And how it ended up, it looked like Moxley was going to pick up the win. He hit the paradigm shift.
Yep.
He hit it with 10 seconds left.
Yep.
All he had to do was cover him. And all of a sudden, Pac kicks out of the paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like the way it ended? And then also, do you think that they're a little bit too WWE in that style of individuals already kicking out of finishing moves? Because earlier in the night, when Omega hit the one-winged angel, and don't get me wrong, that's one of the most protected finishers in the game right now. I don't ever see anybody kicking out of that, and when they do, people are going to lose their fucking minds. Mm-hmm. But the paradigm shift, I know people kicked out of that all the way in WWE. It was nothing. But that was Dirty Deeds. This is the paradigm shift. Yeah. I know it's the same move, but it's not at the same time.
Yeah.
So how did you feel about that, Amy?
With the way that wins and losses mean so much in AEW, I don't like that ended in a draw. I thought that should have been a decisive winner in that, and preferably had been Pac. Like, I don't really like the I don't like the fight. Well, but at the same time, it kind of brings back that old school feel. I don't like that there wasn't a decisive winner, but it does bring that back to old school feel because back in the early 90s, late 80s, WCW time frame, they did have time limit draws. Like that was kind of common back in those days, and you don't see that like because there's no time limit in WWE. Like, so we kind of grown out of seeing that. It's kind of shocking to see a match go to a draw these days. So I get the old school feel of it, but I would have preferred to see a winner of that.
Cool. Now, I have to disagree with you a little bit on that because I thought it added, like you said, a little bit of rarity, I guess. Mm-hmm. Just a little different than what we're used to seeing. Now, as long as they don't do that every week, as long as, it isn't booked, this is your main event, two big, competitors, you're like, oh man, who's going to lose this? They're both built up a certain way. They both can't lose right now, but one of them has to lose because in the nature of the match.
That makes sense.
As long as it's not used, as long as it's used sparingly and it's not used over and over and over and over again, like every week, with time limit remaining or TV time remaining, finishes in a draw. As long as it's not booked like that, maybe once or twice, let's say every 3 months, maybe, I think I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Maybe once every 3 months, maybe twice half a year, something like that, to where it looks like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. They just really couldn't decide a winner. These two were battling it out. It really could have gone either way. There just wasn't enough time. So this one, I think, was a perfect example of that. I agree. I would have liked Pac to win just because it would have gotten his kind of like win back from last week where Moxley cost him and everything like that. But I think it was done really well. I don't like that he kicked out of the paradigm shift. I think that should have been it. But maybe there's other ways, because not unlike WWE, in AEW, people win without hitting their finishers. Yeah. So that's that could be something. The finisher is, however, supposed to finish the match. But the fact, hence the name. But since it can happen at any time, I'm okay with this being a certain point. Pac looks like a strong individual, just like a strong competitor. I can see him kicking out. But man, the second I see, like, no offense, the second I see like Jungle Boy kick out of the paradigm shift, that's gonna be it for me. That's it. Yeah. So,
you spoke about as far as like making WWE mistakes with kicking out the finishers. That's one of the things that's a part of my criticism with AEW. I like just about everything else that they do, but there's a few things that I'm like, they need to tighten up on that.
Yes.
That should be it, man.
If you hit it, that should be it.
Nobody got out of the Scorpion Death Drop back in the day.
Yeah.
Sting hit that's it. Every now and again, the only move back in the day that people would consistently get out of was Ric Flair's figure four. The first time he puts it on, they have the struggle in the middle of the ring. He's, oh my God, and they turn him over, and then the pressure's back on his legs, and then later on he beats you down again, tears your legs up, and then he puts on again, you tap. That was pretty much it. But now, everybody's kicking out of everything. You can reverse things. I don't like that. What I also don't like, that I feel like AEW is making a huge mistake on, is the rules of the referee. Like, what are you doing? Like, in the tag match, was it private parties match? I think, it was the private party in Lucha Bros. I swear those guys were in there for like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And they made reference to it. Oh, it's a 10-second. It's not a 5-second tag and get out. They got 10 seconds. But it was a few times the ref wasn't even counting. He just like, we're gonna let it happen and do their spot. But you gotta tighten up on those rules, man. Yeah. And DQs.
Exactly. The referee's discretion thing is a cheap way to get out of it. I think it's a cheap way to get out of it. Like, I've never been into business, obviously, but as a fan, we've been watching it for long enough. We understand. The very first episode, look, I get it. First episode, you don't want your main event to end in a DQ.
Yeah.
But look, Moxley, not even in the match, came up from behind and basically beat the hell out of Kenny, dropped him through a glass table, and the ref, looking at it the whole time, was just admiring. It's like, damn, man.
Yeah, that looks good.
This is a really good show, man.
That might have hurt.
And then, I think last week also, there was a part, because it was just Jurassic Express versus the Lucha Bros, and I remember this part. They go, Jurassic Express got him on the ropes, whatever, throws Rey Fenix into his corner to tag Pentagon, which is fine. That's a normal tag and everything like that. The only problem with that was Pentagon was already in the ring. He was in the ring, ran into each other, tagged. The ref was like, yes, tag.
They did that again this week.
Gee.
They did that again this week.
I missed that. Which match?
I want to say it was that same match.
Gee.
Like the, not that same, but the Lucha Bros
match, yeah.
The guy was already in the ring. And
yeah.
they didn't even run. That when the one I saw, it wasn't even a run to the corner. It was just like, oh, somebody got slammed. There was no high five. that was a slam. Oh, you're the legal man. No, tighten that up.
Yeah.
Just
they referenced it a little bit. Tony Schiavone and Excalibur referenced it a little bit, where they were like, hey, the Lucha Bros, they're used to wrestling Lucha Libre Mexican style, which doesn't need tags. They don't have frequent, you don't have to tag your partner to be in and out. And which I thought was a decent reference, make, kind of help out a little bit, because these guys are really famous in Mexico and stuff. And then Jim Ross is old. Oh man, he was like, what the heck kind of thing is that? Not tagging in. Where would you see that? And they're like, Excalibur was like, that's Lucha Libre, Jim. And he's like, barbecue. I'm like, damn it, Jim. Just there's other wrestling outside of America.
Yeah, I caught. I'm actually glad that Schiavone and Excalibur mentioned that, because I didn't know that. I didn't know that about Lucha Libre tag matches.
Yeah.
So I was already, that kind of helped me a little bit with that criticism. I still wish that they would, all right, now you're over here.
Yeah, you come on now.
You have to do this.
It's not like we didn't tell you these rules.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm glad that they mentioned it though, because that made me, okay, maybe they didn't understand yet, or they just kind of forgot.
Yeah.
But
Jim Ross saying that afterwards, like, what? They don't tag in?
He's old, man.
He's really old.
You gotta give JR a pass, man.
I don't know, man. There's a few more years, but then I'm gonna start calling him on the, like, I love JR.
Yeah.
We both grew up listening to JR and everything like that, but he's got a few more years in him before I start calling him on his BS. Be like, come on, Jim. Like, okay.
I like Shivani too. Their dynamic on this week's episode, Shivani would be like, I really like that. It was a few times he's like, oh man, I'm learning something new. He said that in the commentary. Jim Ross was like, I am too. And then Shivani's like, no, I really just learned something. I didn't know that. He's like, yeah. And then later on, it was outside the ring. There was a spot, and Shivani's like, man, I ain't never seen nothing like that. I like that right there. And then Jim Ross is like, yeah. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah. You can see it too. Like, Shivani's like really getting into it. He's like trying to build up all these characters and everything like that. And then as soon as Orange Cassidy comes out, you can just hear Jim Ross lose all enthusiasm. Like, yeah, I guess. Like, oh, I guess that's cool. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, Orange Cassidy is my favorite.
I like Orange Cassidy.
He's a little acquired taste.
Yeah,
a little something for everybody.
I don't want to say he's the comedy aspect. He is kind of. I don't want to say he's Santino though.
No,
he's not to that. But he comes out. He gets a pretty good pop, and he doesn't. I like that he does all this stuff and doesn't like break character.
Exactly.
He stays just how he is and does it. Takes his L at the end of it, and he goes on about his business. Yeah. I like that he does that.
Exactly.
So, did we touch on everything else? Did you have? Because you saw more of. I missed a few things at AEW.
Nah, wasn't much else to go off of. My favorite part of the night though was when Jon Moxley was coming out for his entrance, and I don't know why I love Justin Roberts announcing. It's like G, like dude, the J is not that long, fam. Just like, but I love it. I love it when he announces that. But yeah, so he's coming out entryway. He's doing, he's got his pyro and everything, and it's my favorite part of the whole night. As soon as one of his fireworks goes off, that's when bam. Because I was not ready for that. I thought that was the chair making that sound. It was like, bah, ah! Thought I got shot. So that was great. Oh man, I've been thinking all week about that. Just like, wow.
It was like perfect timing. Shot.
That boy knows how to hit somebody from behind. So good for you, Pac. You got the Pac attack. I like it.
Final prediction. I know we both go with the Lucha Bros, but what do you expect to happen going into AEW next? Actually, both of those. We got 2 big tag matches next week. So we got AEW's tag match, and then we got the women's tag match on NXT. To wrap this up, what do you think prediction wise?
Well, I'm gonna go with, for the NXT Women's Championship, Kabuki Warriors. Too soon having it. They're not losing it right away. I think Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai, excuse me, still got a little ways to go.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for their development. But I think these crazy Kabuki Warriors, I think they could take it. I'm looking forward to a really good match between them. Yeah. But I got the Kabuki Warriors taking that one. And then AEW Tag Team Championship Finals. Of course, like you said, you and me both got Lucha Bros going over. I'm going to go a little bit further. They're going to beat SCU. It's going to be a tight match. They want Rock and Roll Express come in, hand them, present them with the World Tag Team Championship. Oh, congratulations, this is what you're going for. I'm hoping that Pentagon and Rey Fenix just murder the Rock and Roll Express right there. They gotta murder them in the ring. I'm talking about package pile driver both their asses, maybe one on the outside, just because they can, and also that's why they got them. You're like, why are they still wrestling? For this.
Did you just turn heel?
This reason is why I'm supposed to be the Phoenix. Heel. Ray, come on, man. I need this to happen. I will come in. I will be in a Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. mask. If just one package pile driver to just one of the members. All right, you ain't got to do it to both of them. Just one of the members. Take it in the head. That's how maybe not how you end the show, but that'd be a good way to end the show.
we just witnessed a heel turn on the heel turn. You had both of us switch. I just turned face. I ended.
There you go, the classic double turn, just like that.
I started the show off as the heel here. And now I'm defending the Rock and Roll Express. Not even a few segments ago, I said they shouldn't be there. They don't even need to do this. You know, don't even want them as far as, you know, in ring action. And now you're about to destroy them. And I'm like, no, don't do that to them. Don't put them in danger.
You're saying that now, but I'm telling you, once it happens, if it does happen, once it happens, you're gonna be thanking me later. And you're gonna get the second most enjoyment out of it, just because I can't wait to see it. And then you're gonna come back in the next day, it's like, yeah,
I do like a good.
And then it's gonna be the clap, just another quick turn. I'm gonna be like, damn, they really killed him.
After you requested it.
After I'm, you know.
He's gonna go and send an email to Cody, like, if you could just slide this in at the end of the match and have them hurt them.
There you go. And I'm gonna send him another email afterwards. Be like, damn, dude, why'd you have to do it?
Yeah. So I don't want to see that after what after seeing Sting go down. You know, there's a certain age.
I guess. Yeah.
There's a certain age that you need to.
You probably need to back off a little bit. Tell Vince that before he books the next Undertaker versus Goldberg match. You tell it.
Oh my God.
I'm just glad we don't got Hulk Hogan versus Ric Flair.
Oh my God. I thought they were gonna do it.
I think that's a good place to end on.
Yeah, we'll cut it there for this week. Oh my God, I would have ended my WWE Network subscription if that was the.
Well, you'd have to. You witnessed an actual murder. Live.
I was like, we can't do that.
The actual stuff video.
That's gonna do it for this week of the heel turn. Thank you all for watching. We will get back to the fast count next week, but this week wasn't really. The main roster kind of let us down, so it wasn't really.
Yeah, we got something going on next Thursday. I'm not really looking forward to anyway. So
yeah, so we'll get back to you all next week. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. For Big Rock TV, this is Don Josh. We'll holler at y'all in the next one. Peace.